But you guys gotta also realize this replaces a pickup truck.
Yes, it does. We can salt with a skid steer, we can salt with the loader out there at a fraction of the cost, upfront investment to take that property on. I don't need a pickup truck. I don't need insurance. I don't need I don't need a guy with a clean CDL license. I don't need those things. I mean,
You're throwing it under cars.
you're throwing it under parked cars, which is huge.
You're not pelting the paint.
Nope.
You're sliding it right underneath.
Yep, and now you don't have to come back at 3 in the morning to salt again. And he salts under the parked cars using the double down instead of 10 laborers like he was doing before. So that saved him a tremendous amount of money.
Can he still charge for the 10 laborers?
I don't think he's doing it, but I mean, that's up to him.
All right, guys, we are in Arctic headquarters right now, and I'm with Lucas, and we are gonna go check out what's called the Double Down. And this is a tool that you guys designed specifically to keep operators working even when there was no other work to do for an average guy, right?
Yeah, so we created Double Down to be able to salt parking lots with the equipment that we already have on the lots.
And with the operator, so no extra truck needed, right?
Yep, no extra truck. It allows you to scoop salt from a bulk pile or a container on site. Skid steer your loader, your compact loader, to actually spread the salt like you would with a pickup truck spreader. This is where we manufacture all the Double Downs currently. Everything's done in batches.
And you have two sizes?
Yeah, we have the 1 yard and we have the 3 yard. We make all of them in. You can have powder coat, you can have galvanized or stainless.
What do you think people should order?
Well, I mean, it's all based on budget, what you're trying to do, but I'd prefer at least going galvanized. Stainless is the best.
You passed the test. No, galvanized.
Oh, yeah.
Galvanized, absolutely. Because these are your galvanized, right?
Yep, these are
So
all
you have galvanized, powder coated, and then did you say stainless?
We do, yeah. We have some stainless steel units over here. We
Oh.
have the latest and greatest 3 yard unit behind
Well,
us.
tell me the difference. No, I don't even understand. I thought stainless and galvanized were very similar. What's this? What's the scoop?
So, basically, you have a 25-year coating in galvanized, which is far superior over powder coat.
Yes.
So you're not going to have the rusting issues that you would have with just normal paint or powder coat. And this is a great option for if you want to own something for 5-10 years and it not being rotting out. Then you also have, based on what the client's needs are, stainless steel, which is going to be the best for long-term protection of your investment. Just like having a stainless spreader on a truck, stainless double downs fit that box for other clients.
And these are all your 1 yard, and this is your 3 yard right here?
Yeah, so this is one of the prototype units. This is galvanized, and then the final production unit is all the way patched the other way. But this has all the updates on it, the latest and greatest.
Okay, but you have switched everything around on these things.
Yes.
You made this super simple for guys.
Yeah, so it used to be electronically controlled. Like you could see one of the Double Down Pluses. We've rebranded it as a Double Down Plus. It's all controlled from inside the cab of the machine. Left augers, spinners, all independently controlled with this valve block.
Okay.
While this is great for some clients, more or less more clients needed a simple bucket, so we just call it the Double Down, and where you have adjustable valves on the back and then your third valve line. So you can adjust your spinners and your augers with these valves.
So no electronic hookup?
No electronic hookup.
2 hydraulic hoses,
Yep.
and that's it. So your operator can go from plowing snow, drop his plow off, 2 connectors up to your hydraulic hoses, no electronic connector.
No electronic.
And now, if he does want to switch it, what do these do?
So you have one to control your augers and one to control your spinners. So this bucket has one auger and then 2 spinners. So you can control your casting width, how far you're going to cast with your spreaders with one valve, and the other valve you control how much salt you're going to feed to your spinners with your auger.
Okay.
Yep.
And that is what this used to do from inside of the cab.
Yes. Yeah.
Why would a guy want that, or why would a guy want this?
So this is what we kind of consider your your owner-operator unit. They have 1 or 2 machines. They want those machines to be able to use that bucket at one site. They're going to be the ones running it, the owner. Whereas this bucket's more what we've come to find that we need for ourselves, fleet buyer. You're going to have 10, 20 loaders, skid steers, compact loaders spread out. You want to be able to use your bucket on different machines, especially if you have a breakdown. You say, hey, I got 2 skid steers on the site. I want both of them to be able to run that bucket just in case one goes down. Where it was possible with this unit, the problem is you'd have to pay to have that machine set up for the wiring harness to do it, which has its limitations for cost, obviously. So where this is applicable for certain clients, for us and others, we find a need for this unit right here, just the double down.
You mentioned costs. Now, you don't sell things directly to the public, do you? Okay, so everything goes through a dealer.
Everything goes through a dealer.
So the dealer's going to have the cost, but is there a 5% savings from one or the other? Is there a 10%? Is there any kind of a generalized savings if you're going to buy this? And
I look at it more of like a reduction in like just the purchase price. I wouldn't say it's like a savings, but yeah, I believe it's roughly 30% less expensive over the Double Down Plus over, you know, your galvanized Double Down.
yeah,
It's going to be, I think it's about 30%
okay.
less.
But you guys got to also realize that this replaces a pickup truck.
Yes, it does. So the biggest thing, why we made the Double Down, and I've told this to people, is that we don't make products to sell them. We make products that we need to use in our own snow service business. So we wanted to be able to bid on properties that were outside of our normal service area. Like, for example, there's a rail yard in Ohio that we service, and I can't justify putting $150,000 salt truck on that property for it to salt that one property. So we needed was to be able to salt with the equipment that was on site already, which is what the Double Down allows us to do. We keep one yard unit out there and 1 3-yard unit, so we can salt with a skid steer, we can salt with a loader out there at a fraction of the cost, upfront investment to take that property on. I don't need a pickup truck. I don't need insurance. I don't need I don't need a guy with a clean CDL license. I don't need those things. I mean, yeah, I still need insurance, but it's everything about getting that job done costs less. And I can utilize what I already have, which in the industry right now is very crucial because we're having to do more with less. Just as rising costs, everything else is going on, everyone's well aware of inflation. So how do we do more with what we already have? And that's really where the Double Down really shines, and being able to service out of network properties.
Now, is there anybody else doing anything like this?
Not that I'm aware of. Right now, we are the exclusive manufacturer for salt buckets for the snow removal products industry, where you have like a real industrial grade commercial product. Now, there are other buckets that I don't consider competition.
Well, I had one,
Okay.
and it lasted 1 season.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
One season. Mine rust heaved up, plus my salt wouldn't ever go through the spinner, right? Because it would just turn into a rock solid pile. So what did you guys do to compensate for something like that happening?
Well, I mean, we always recommend that they break up the pile if it's frozen.
Yep.
Always recommend that. But we use the strongest motor in for torque in that size of motor for the auger. You can't really see it, unfortunately, with the inspection panels in place. So we use the strongest motor you can get for the auger, so that you don't have to worry about a piece of frozen salt binding it up as a crushed salt. We use a special manufactured fastener to hold a coupler to the motor so that they can't break, because we ran into those issues. We also run on the spinners, we also run a high grade motor as well, so we're not going to see a failure there. And then obviously we have the grates to keep out anything that would jam the bucket size wise. It can't get in the bucket, so they can just simply dump it out.
Okay, what are we looking at, Lucas?
So this is the Double Down 3-yard size. This one so happens to be made in stainless. This is actually the bucket we showed off at SIMA. Completely redid how the grates work. They're actually hinged at the back, so when you go to scoop the salt, they stay shut. But when you want to empty the bucket, they will actually just open themselves up, so you can empty the bucket real quickly. One of the things that we identified in the old design was that emptying the buckets was not as easy because you had to undo small hinges in the front and then dump forward. I said, well, why don't we just create it so it wedges shut when you fill it, and then when you want to empty it, it just pushes the grates open and then it just empties instantly. See the dog bones, you can see the open plate in the center, and then we have some deflection plates that we added, so it stops all the salt from piling on top of itself. So as it shifts down, it allows it to flow freely. Added some strapping points for straps. We also have these chain points for chains, so it kind of just depends on what you need to strap it down with. If it's attached to a machine on a semi and you're going down the road, obviously hauling it, you need to still be able to chain your attachment to your implement, otherwise they're gonna write you a ticket. You can see the dual spinners, just like the 1 yard. Two spinners.
And 2 spinners.
Yep, you could throw salt.
So that the 1 yard has dual spinners as well.
Yes, it does. You have to throw it at the same time.
Okay.
Yes, so you adjust the speed on the back of the valve, and then you're casting salt from anywhere from 10 feet wide all the way up to 60 feet wide. And
okay.
The nice part is, because it's on the machine, you get it real low to the ground.
You're throwing it under cars.
You're throwing it under parked cars, which is huge.
You're not pelting the paint.
Nope.
You're sliding it right underneath.
Yep, and now you don't have to come back at 3 in the morning to salt again.
Huh.
The cars are gone.
Right.
Like, one of the biggest things we've seen is Amazon, for instance. A lot of them are 24/7.
Yep.
And a lot of them require the contracts for return trips or salt in between the cars. We have a guy here in Illinois that uses one of our double down pluses, the electronically controlled double down, and he salts under the parked cars using the double down instead of 10 laborers like he was doing before. So that saved him a tremendous amount of money.
Can he still charge for the 10 laborers?
I don't think he's doing it, but that's up to him.
The ability to cast salt below parked cars is pretty monumental because it saves a contractor return trips.
So now we're off to go film the double down outside. You guys got salt and everything right here ready to go, huh?
You get a little dicey on rock. Come on. Next bought these for a trade show. They have a quicker out of so I'm using them at the plant.
Do they let you actually use these at trade shows?
Yeah, we do it until they say stop. We used to have 2 of them here. I can't remember what the name of them are for long. But
Segway?
yeah, these are actually Segway. These are 9-bot on them, and then they buy Segway. This is actually where we do where we do all the stress tests for the double downs, all the salt that we spread. This is where we go. County just lets us dig in it.
So it's the county's pile?
Yep, it's a township pile.
What are we bringing over?
You'll be bringing over you should be bringing over a skid with a 1 yard on it.
Bucket's clear. What's the plan, Lucas?
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna break up the pile like you should in the wintertime. You don't wanna dump frozen salt onto your spreader, ruin your grates. You don't wanna do the same with the double down. And then we're gonna show how quickly we can take the plow bucket off the machine and swap over to the double down and hook it up.
All right, let's do it.
So before we hooked up to the double down here, we did use the bucket of the skid loader just to loosen up that salt. But now let's watch how fast and easy you can hook up to this thing. The upper grate does what it's supposed to do. It takes all of the big chunkers and keeps them up top and not jamming up your auger system down below.
Thing just goes crazy.
That was throwing high, dude.
What mode is that,
A
Lucas?
lot.
That's the allot mode?
Yeah. Okay, we're running late mode. You need to salt a massive block with this little bucket immediately. Yeah, but that's how just one little adjustment the thing can really throw down, and that's just normal third valve.
So let's just see that valve. Okay. Okay, so you just adjusted the valve where, Lucas, to change that flow?
So you move it either way. Higher the number, higher the flow. Lower the number, lower the flow. That's your auger. And then this is for your spinners. So I just made an adjustment down the other way.
And this is the double down
Yep.
by Arctic.
1 yard, double down by Arctic. Available in powder coat, galvanized, and stainless steel.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And when you're done salting, if you have any extra material still left in the bucket, they made it pretty easy to dump it back out into the pile.
If you guys have to salt the property, you can't justify having your own salt truck on. The Arctic double down salt bucket is what you need.
Perfect. And it's out now.
It is available now.
Both models.
Both models.
Okay, so just go to a regular Arctic dealer and guys can find out more about it.
Yes.
And you have something on your website about it as well?
Yep, ArcticStoneIceProducts.com. You can also find us on social media.
All right. That's going to call it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this helps make your winter go a little bit smoother, because good help is hard to find. And if you've got somebody good and they can get some extra hours in by doing the salting for you, and you can save a couple bucks in the process, that's a win-win in my book. That's it for this one. God bless. Go get them, you guys, and we'll catch you on another one. The big thanks goes out to these guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Lucas.
Dan.
Thanks, Spence. Appreciate you guys letting me come out here and invade your space and showing me your cool little toys. That's it for this one. God bless. Go get them, guys. Catch you another one.